Hey Ashley, this is a really impromptu video. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to solve this problem. You have 7/9 plus 5 over 2 minus 5 over 6 plus 2 over 3. So what you're going to need to do is, I wrote the steps. First thing you need to do is find a common denominator. Step 1, find a common denominator. So if you look at the denominators of these fractions, the denominator here is 9, 2, 6, and 3. So I wrote those denominators 9, 2, 6, and 3. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to find a multiple of each of the denominators, 9, 2, 6, and 3, that's common to all of the denominators. So if you look at the multiplication tables of 9, I've listed them here. 9 times 1, 9 times 2, 9 times 3, 9 times 4. The multiples of 2, the multiples of 6, and the multiples of 3. If you can see, the least common multiple, which is the smallest multiple that's common to all of them, is 18. Notice I circled 18. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get all the denominators equal to 18. So if you look at the problem, if we want this denominator to be 18, we're going to have to multiply the first fraction by 2 over 2. That way, 2 times 9 will give you 18. The second fraction, we're trying to get 18 on the denominator, so 2 times 9 will give us 18. So you're going to multiply this fraction by 9 over 9. Whatever you do to the bottom of the fraction, you have to do to the top, because 9 over 9 is the same as multiplying by 1. 9 divided by 9 is 1. So if I multiply anything times 1, this fraction stays the same. We're creating what we call equivalent fractions. So the fractions look different, but they actually will simplify to the same thing, and I'll show you in a second. So we're trying to get the denominator equal to 18, so we're going to multiply 6 times 3. So 3 over 3 times 5 over 6. And the last fraction, we're trying to get the denominator equal to 18, so 3 times 6. So we'll multiply this by 6 over 6, which is the same as multiplying by 1. Okay, so if I multiply the first fraction, 7 over 9, by 2 over 2, we get 14 over 18. And notice 14 over 18 simplifies to 7 over 9. All right, 14 can be divided by 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So 7/9 is the same as 14 over 18. And the reason why they're the same is, even though the fractions look different, all I did was multiply this fraction by a fraction that represented one whole. So 2 over 2, that's the same as 1. So when I multiply a fraction by 1, even though the fraction looks different, it's actually equivalent. When you reduce it down, it's the same thing. All right, so I'm going to multiply this one by 9 over 9. So 9 times 5 is 45 over 18, minus 3 times 5 is 15 over 18, plus 6 times 2 is 12 over 18. All right, so notice how they all have common denominators. So if they all have the same denominator, you can add the tops or subtract the numerators and leave the bottom alone. So on the top, I'm going to put 14 plus 45 minus 15 plus 12. And the denominator stays the same, so it's all over 18. All right, so now we're going to have to do some math. So 45 plus 14, that is 59, minus 15 plus 12 over 18. Okay, 59 minus 15, that's 44, plus 12 over 18. 44 plus 12 is 56 over 18. Okay. Now, we don't want to leave this as 56 over 18 because, first of all, this is an improper fraction, which means the top is bigger than the bottom, and we don't want that. So we can do a couple things, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and divide. So the guy on the roof falls in the house. That's what I like to say. We're going to see how many times 18 goes into 56. So let's see. 4, that's going to be too big. 3 times 8 is 24, and that's 54. So there's 2 left over. So the answer is going to be 56. 18 went into 56 3 times, so it's 3. And then there were 2 left over, so 2 over the 18 that we divided by. But 2 over 18 can be simplified. 2 and 18 can both be divided by 2. So it's 3. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 18 divided by 2 is 9. That's your answer.